Now, if you know anything about Bitcoin, then you've probably heard of a guy named Michael Saylor. And to cut a long story short, this guy is an absolute clown. There's really no other way to put it. He says the craziest shit when it comes to Bitcoin. But in this video, I'm going to discuss some of the lunacy that he was saying in regards to the cryptocurrency congressional hearings that were held in early December last year, because I was blown away with some of the ridiculous things that he was saying. Now, if you want to see how delusional Michael Saylor and the whole MicroStrategy team is, all you need to do is watch a few of their videos that they post weekly on the MicroStrategy YouTube channel. But in this video, I will discuss the craziness that he was saying on Yahoo Finance in regards to the congressional hearings that were held in early December 2021, where cryptocurrency CEOs testified before Congress. So after the hearings, he starts off by announcing that MicroStrategy is buying more Bitcoin, which was around $57,000 at the time. Now, if you've been paying attention to Bitcoin's price here in 2022, then you would know that Bitcoin is being obliterated. It's currently sitting at $19,000, but of course, even at that price, it's expensive because Bitcoin is nothing more than an imaginary coin that only exists in the imaginary world of all of the fools who think that it's gold 2.0. But I burst out laughing when Michael Saylor said that he believes that Bitcoin's price will keep going up forever. Now, he obviously needs to keep spewing this stuff out to his followers and to the suckers who invest in MicroStrategy, because he needs to at least appear as if he believes in his own lies, so that his fellow hodlers don't jump off this sinking ship. But he then switches gears, as a lot of these crypto gurus do every time they try and reinvent Bitcoin into something that it's not. And it was funny to see Michael Saylor parrot what these cryptocurrency CEOs were saying to Congress, and that Bitcoin is no longer a currency, and they were actually praising the US dollar and the fiat currency system. So even though Bitcoin has been labeled as a currency over the last 10 years, they were telling Congress that Bitcoin is not a currency and it's not here to challenge the US dollar. So obviously that was just another lie that Bitcoin gurus used to tell people, but of course in front of Congress, well, they need to lie some more in order to keep this pump and dump scam going for as long as possible. So after denouncing the fact that Bitcoin is not a currency that can challenge the US dollar, Michael Saylor actually says that the US dollar deserves to be the world's reserve currency, because he says that the US dollar is ultimately going to dominate other fiat currencies, because according to him, in the imaginary world that he lives in, every country in the world only wants the US dollar, and they are eventually going to abandon their own fiat currencies so that all of the stable coins in the cryptocurrency space will be backed by the US dollar, and that will make it easier for people all around the world to buy Bitcoin. Okay, so it's pretty obvious to see that this guy is losing his mind. He actually believes that the whole world is going to sacrifice their own sovereign fiat currencies for the US dollar so that it's easier for everyone all around the world to buy Bitcoin. Seriously, what a clown. But it gets even worse. He's now comparing Bitcoin to real estate. So after Michael Saylor publicly stated that Bitcoin is not a currency that can challenge the US dollar, his latest spin is that it's actually property similar to real estate. So in his imaginary world, as we discussed earlier, he says that all of the stable coins will be backed by the US dollar and used by every country all around the world. So the US dollar is going to dominate all other currencies, and Bitcoin is going to dominate every other sector, because Bitcoin is property. Bitcoin isn't in competition with the US dollar, it's in competition with gold, it's in competition with silver, and he even said that it's in competition with real estate. How delusional is this guy? He says crazy things like gold is worthless. He says that it's weak property and that Bitcoin is strong property. He also said that gold is dead and that it should all be gathered up and dumped because it's worthless. He said it's been the worst performing asset of all time, and he says the same thing about silver. He said that there's no hope for neither gold or silver. Get rid of it because you can't do anything with it. And he believes that Bitcoin is eventually going to surpass both gold and silver's market cap. And his price prediction for Bitcoin's market cap, he says that it's going to surpass $100 trillion very soon. But I can't get over the fact that he calls gold and silver useless, and that not only will Bitcoin's market cap surpass all of the gold and silver bars that are stored in central central banks and by private collectors all around the world combined. But he also says that Bitcoin will also replace the jewelry industry. So all of the jewelry manufacturers will be put out of business because gold and silver jewelry is worthless, according to Michael Saylor. Now, it's rather sad that he doesn't understand that jewelry is not the only value that's derived from precious metals. They are the best electricity conductors, which are actually used inside blockchain technology, I might add. And he can't see the irony in the fact that the electricity used during each transaction of Bitcoin is conducted through traces of gold and silver, not to mention all of the other precious and base metals that he said were worthless. But I just have to laugh when he said that Bitcoin will replace the real estate market and that Bitcoin is the only property that we need. So the world in the future is that every country around the world is going to be using a stable coin backed by the US dollar as the #1 medium of exchange, and all of our property is going to be Bitcoin. So nobody needs real estate now that we have Bitcoin. This dude is crazy. How the hell are we going to live inside Bitcoin, Michael? What type of shelter can Bitcoin possibly provide for us? And Bitcoin doesn't have earnings the way an investment property does if you wanted to rent that property out. Bitcoin's not property. It's not a business. It can't replace gold and silver because it has no substance. It's just computer code that only exists on the internet. But Michael Saylor doesn't understand that. He thinks it's a real coin. This guy compared Bitcoin to a house. He's delusional. But you know, another thing I've actually heard this guy say is that Bitcoin's price volatility, the fact that it's so up and down, he says that that is also a part of Bitcoin's appeal because it makes it better for trading, he says. So the fact that the price can collapse at any time makes Bitcoin more valuable, according to Michael Saylor. But what he can't see is that if that's the case, then that would completely destroy the narrative of Bitcoin being any kind of inflation hedge or a store of value. These Bitcoin gurus are trying to tout this digital trash as all things to all people, and that proves that it's nothing to nobody. For more videos on all things investing, subscribe to this channel.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best, okay? But take all your money, buy Bitcoin. Then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business, it's in your family for 37 years, and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin.